Well, hello everyone, my name's Louis, and as you know, it is my mission to aid your awakening. And in this video, we are going to tackle the big question. We're going to tackle the concept you've seen in the title, the meaning of life. I'm going to go about explaining the big question in spirituality, the big question in which every spiritual seeker wants to know, the big truth. I'm here, Louis Stevens is here to aid your awakening and to try and give you an insight onto what that could be, but how ultimately the quest for trying to find the thing that is true, what happens to us when we die, what is this all about? Why am I walking through a wood right now doing this? What is this all about? Why have you come to watch this video? What's resonated with you in terms of you clicking on this video and choosing to watch me talk to you today? It's all going to be explained in good time. I'm going to explain how spirituality, how looking for what is the truth can be very actually obstructive in your progress, in your spiritual growth, in your spiritual development. How actually you deciding to choose one meaning can alter the shape of your life and actually close down the perspective, can actually close your mind by focusing on giving life in all its facets and all its interesting, diverse experiences and wealth of richness and light, that you can restrict it into fitting into a mental construct. So what I'm going to tell you today is that we are already truth. Truth already exists, and it's about us accepting that the truth is already here. It doesn't need to be something we seek for outside of ourselves. We are actually already living truth. Truth already is. It's not something that needs to be defined. It's not something that's preordained. It simply is. And the less restrictions you put around that concept, the more free you'll be to create the life which you ultimately give your own meaning to. And I'm here to tell you that, to tell you to work with the tools you already have. Because as we know, being appreciative of what we already have is the key to being abundant and living in abundance. And how ultimately you place your own meaning on life, whether you see it through, like I do, a spiritual awakening. Awakening isn't true for everyone. And as you may see, you may try and awaken other people, your friends, your family, and get a bad response. But what's real to you can become your reality. And for me, awakening is very much real for me, as it is maybe real for you. And it's not about showing anyone else. It's simply about living in alignment with yourself, creating reality the way you want it to be by giving it your own meaning, because truth already is, and there is no inherent meaning, only that with what you give it, because you are truth. And we're going to break that down in more depth in a moment. See you in a second. Okay, so it's quite an interesting intro and quite a lot to divulge from what I've just spoken. But I just want to tell you and share my experience of trying to find what I imagine many of you are doing, as I did for for actually quite a few years. I was thinking about what is the truth of everything, the truth beyond what we see in society, the truth beyond the sort of messages and programming that we're told, the truth beyond what are we deep down? Is it a soul? Is it a spirit? What's the inner energy? What is this inner energy that you're likely, if you're going through any sort of Kundalini awakening, or your energy is shifting, where your state is shifting, you are ascending, you will have noticed and become much more aware of your inner energy, the energy that derives through the body, the energy that maybe at times have experienced blockages and moving in and out, and it's very intense. And as you become aware of this inner energy, you are naturally, and this isn't a bad thing, you're looking to find what the truth is. But when I was going through my awakening, what I didn't see is that I was going through an individual journey where I need to focus on myself and focus on healing and focus on letting go, focus on surrendering, releasing, and really yielding to this awakening process. But what would stop me from doing that would be the challenges I had with my ego. And I've shared that many a time with you on anxiety and depression, spiritual anxiety and depression. It comes and it goes, it's very intense. And that would be as a result of my ego falling away, my ego putting up a fight, showing me these levels of resistance, so many barriers of resistance I was encountering. But the other level of resistance was trying to find out and figure what is the truth behind everything, what is the truth behind everything, until I found out that we are simply the truth just is. But at the time when I was going through this, I was looking for many different sources that could explain everything. And often when you'll find sources that can explain everything, They may come in the form of philosophers and philosophies that you pick up along the way and you may, for a time, believe in. But if you're familiar with the Sadhguru, the Indian mystic Sadhguru, he would say that philosophers and philosophy, that most philosophers are unemployed men that often have an excuse or an explanation for why they are unemployed, for why they are out of work. He said, if you stand on the stag heap of your mind, your feet will never touch the ground. And I remembered learning that, and he said there's more beauty in one leaf than there is from all the millions of different ideas and phrases and things that your mind can come up with. Because your mind is attached to your ego. And when you are waking up, you are letting go of the mind programming, of the mind controls that have been put on you. So trying to find out the truth while using the mind is a very difficult way, and this will prevent you from really encountering and growing spiritually and developing spiritually. I remember when I traveled through Japan back in 2018, and I was reading a lot of Camus, I was reading a lot of Sartre, I was reading these philosophers, and I was also listening to a lot of music on the way, and I was interested in Pink Floyd at the time. I was listening to Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and one of the lyrics was about someone who had a psychedelic overdose, Syd Barrett, the member of Pink Floyd. And in the song about him, as a tribute to him because he had to leave the band due to the mental challenges he had and the falling out and the difficult experiences he went through, one of the lines of the song was, "He reached for the truth too soon." And that really stood out to me because if I could see myself in Sid, in this guy that lost himself trying to find the truth. When actually, we learn in spirituality that everything comes from within, everything already is. And therefore I changed my perspective from trying to find the truth and make it my life's mission, using up all my energy trying to find some truth or some explanation for what was going on, and instead rested myself. Like I've said before, it's great to rest and be at peace with the unknown, and rest in your truth. You hear a lot about that now on social media. Be your truth, because it is all from within. And we can create the life we want by establishing our truth and using what we have around us. Like I mentioned at the beginning, abundance is appreciating what we already have. So instead of looking at the blank canvas and trying to find meaning in the canvas, where does it come from? I say just use the equipment we have and paint the canvas. You already have your brush, you already have the colors around you. And use this to create your truth and to put meaning on the canvas, which is essentially meaningless, in what I'm about to get to next.
Let's go.
Right, so what is meant by truth already exists. When you hear the term create your reality, that doesn't just mean you create within a framework, you live by what is seen. Creating your reality is living by what is unseen, by living the way you believe you can live. You are the creator, not only of what you do with yourself in your life, but how you ultimately perceive life to be. So instantly in this moment, if you want some relief from this existential anxiety that I once had about trying to figure out what the truth was and then fit myself inside of it, just decide immediately what is real, make it, if it sounds good, if it feels good in your body, don't just listen to your head, listen to what feels good. If it instinctually feels good, this definition of life that you're creating for yourself, then immediately forget about trying to fit into this framework. You create the framework yourself. This is what awakening is all about. It's all about you removing these restrictions on yourself, on your consciousness, on removing fear-based programming that you've had since a child, removing concepts that maybe hold you back or made you scared to do certain things, concepts of sin, of karma, of evil, of devil, or maybe you want those to give yourself a structure from which you can live most freely. At the end of the day, you're trying to live and raise your vibration by feeling more in joy, at peace, in bliss. So just put on the definition that fits that for you. Now maybe if you like what I'm saying in my videos and you agree with me, if awakening, like I do, I believe in vibrational reality. I believe in, we don't just, there's not just no rules so we should go around killing other people. Can do that if you want. I'm not saying anything you can. Sam's shaking his head right now. I'm just saying what would make you feel good. It feels good when you give, it feels good when you share, it feels good when you let go of your self-image, when you let go of your ego. When I meditate, I feel good. When I exercise, I feel good. When I give things to people, I feel abundant then. I do believe that's innate within us. I believe there's an innate dial we have whereby if we do certain things, if we abide by certain principles, characteristics, moral ideas, for me that works. Wanting to raise my vibration, raise the frequency on earth, receive downloads, receive more high frequency energy. That works for me, that's my definition. And if you agree with it, then we can all abide by this definition we want, because it makes us feel good, because that's how we live in more bliss. But at the end of the day, the amazing thing about life, and I'm glad, I've said this to many people, I'm glad there's not one definition. I'm glad there's not one way in which we must do things, and we must all surrender to it, and we must all work in this one system. We already have that in a society. Spirituality is about yourself. Spirituality is about freedom. It's about freeing yourself from these structures. So it's great that some people can have some beliefs, some people can be religious, but at the end of the day, we're all here creating our own reality, and we all share that reality, even if we perceive it in different ways. Awakening is about unlearning all that's been put on us since a young age, healing ourselves, unlearning. So it's not about applying new ideas. Like I said with the philosophers, they're often all repressed people living very depressing lives. And that is because instead of releasing and surrendering their emotions and growing spiritually, they are trying to logic and rationalize everything in their reality so that it fits in their head. And they're geniuses, the way they can think, you know, on many different levels. They're geniuses in their own way, but are they really enjoying their lifetime? Guys, you'll see later on in your process, maybe once you've got past this struggle to trying to find the truth, when you realize you are the truth and that you can use the things around you to have fun, you can play, you can enjoy nature, you can be at peace, you can sing, you can dance, you can do whatever you like with what you currently have, because we already have so much. And it's in our society that gives us a constrained view of what we actually have. It wants us to be in scarcity, it wants us wanting more constantly, it wants us to be in lack and in scarcity, in other than having abundance, which is naturally flowing through us. Once you get in touch with these energies a bit more, and you let go of the mind's obsession with trying to find out the truth, then you naturally will start to get to a higher vibrational reality. You will naturally get to a higher place where things will just come in naturally, where you will naturally attract high vibration. So that ease becomes freedom, and that you're living such an abundant life of so much bliss where it doesn't have to have a meaning. I've experienced this in some moments. I don't care if the truth is we're all jelly, if the truth is we're all stuck in a weird computer game, if the truth is we're all doomed for failure, because I'm enjoying being alive, and once we can share that, then we can all live in bliss. So we've established this now, that we are truth, and truth is already existing. The meaning of life is essentially meaningless in a sense, in a positive stance, because you have the power to make it what you want it to be. And this awakening is going to show you more than ever that you have all the manifestation skills you need to create the life you want. You can envision it, you can start putting in action every single day, creating it as you like. What I was going to say was that in life you will find out moments, like when if you're even in the flow state, you can understand this. It's where everything is flowing, you think, I've got it, I'm riding that wave, the wind's on my back, everything's going great, I've found it, this is how I want to be all the time. And you will lose that state, or even you will get to that state again, but then realize something greater is on the other side because you've just experienced something greater. It's great to have in mind what is truth, but also don't search for it too hard. You don't need to find the truth to live a life of bliss and live life on your terms and how exactly you want it to be. It has no meaning, but that is what makes life incredible. That's what makes life special every single day. Nothing is preset. Everything is interchangeable, and it's up to you to be the creator of the reality that you ultimately want. I want to double down on the message, guys. There is no apparatus, there is no paradigm in which you need to conform to in order to make it. You create that paradigm yourself. You create what you define as success yourself. You create what you design as peace yourself, as passion yourself. Again, the more you look at it, it's about unlearning. Awakening is unlearning the things that we've been put on us, have been told. This is what success looks like. This is what beauty looks like. This is how you should act. These are the standards you should have. This is all something, the more you unlearn, the more you let go of, the more you realize there is to explore yourself, and the more elements of yourself, the more abilities you will discover about yourself that you can apply into your life. So don't stick with these definitions, get rid of these definitions. I've said in other videos to get rid of these definitions. Stop trying to find what is the truth. There is already here among us. We're breathing oxygen right now, flying about on a floating rock in a galaxy among millions of other galaxies and stars, and we've come from stars. That's good enough for me. I hope it's good enough for you. Have an amazing day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once we do this, once we embrace that we are truth, we need to look for nothing outside of ourselves, creating our own realities as we want it to be, day by day. We will get blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much to be stuck for it towards all the way to the end. Check out my Instagram, link in the bio down below. Check out the weekly blog I put out, Awakening Aid Facebook community. You already know. Shout out to my cameraman. We've got another great third person shot.
Nice.
We like it.
Woo.
Thank you, guys. Peace and love.